Hey guys, welcome to the second part of our Democracy 3 USA video. So, I've just come straight into the quarterly report here because there's a couple of things that we need to have a look at. So, as mentioned in the last episode, the alcohol abuse is gone. The banning of tobacco adverts has come up, which is something I want to have a look at because tobacco usage has gone up slightly, not that much, but with the health being as low as it is right now, it's maybe good to get tobacco usage down a little bit if we can. So, banning tobacco adverts. So rejecting a ban obviously will make capitalists, liberals happy because it's a freedom of choice thing. Approving the ban will massively boost our health, and at this point, I don't need to get up for re-election. As long as I don't get assassinated, there's not a problem. So I will approve this ban because I don't want tobacco usage to increase. I want it to go down as much as I can potentially. So we left off last time in a bit of a sticky situation, and this was nothing to do with our... where is the... I can't remember where it is. There it is, yes. So there's a bit of a sticky issue at the moment, and that's the fact that the global economy is in a massive recession. We are at the very bottom. Our recession, this is a very big recession. There's a huge problem, and it's going to cause a lot of big issues when it comes to our GDP. And a reduction in GDP obviously means that, you know, not as much, the economy's not doing as well, which comes into big problems. Low income people might lose their jobs. Middle income people aren't going to be as happy because they don't have the same luxuries that they used to. So it's something we got to have a look at. So, especially with the GDP going down and unemployment taking a sharp rise, we need to potentially have a look at the homelessness situation. So I think potentially we need to start investing in this, reducing the poverty. Poverty is going down still, which is good. However, we need to reduce it a little bit more, potentially. So we can try and have a look at that. So maybe things like food stamps makes everybody pretty happy. So that's only a small reduction, but it's only a small increase. So I think we should have a look at some welfare. So, see, now this is the thing. Child benefit is very popular. It can cost quite a lot of money, but it also should help with poverty because it ensures that the poor earnings are happier, and it'll cost quite a bit of money, but it should also be quite a popular thing for us to put in. On top of that, I don't want a welfare fraud department. The money we'll make from it isn't even worth it. Unemployment benefit, we will want to reduce this at some point. I can't at the moment because we don't have the political capital, so maybe I'll wait till next term. So the doctor strike is a bit of a problem. But the State Health Service is in the process of a big upgrade. It can take up to 12 turns to resolve, but it will go down, and we should eventually get the parents back on our side. The drug addiction is an issue, but the State Health Service investment should help that. And there is also a couple of things I will probably want to look at. I want to do a needle exchange program. It helps people, you know. It might not help the narcotic problem in itself, but with us having a narcotics issue, I feel like we need to make sure that people aren't, you know, dying over this. So, a DNA database. Oh, yeah, go on then. Only because we still have that issue with the crime's not that high at the moment, but the internet crime is still causing a bit of a problem. But that's just an issue we have with high technology. It might be something just to not worry too much about. It does annoy everyone, and it does increase crime, but there's just not really a lot you can do with it. So, there's a couple of things I want to do. So first of all, I'll increase the unemployment benefit. Going to annoy the capitalists a little bit, but we'll think of something for them. We'll think of something. The more the economy rises, the more the capitalists are happy, I believe. So, yeah. So, let's not worry too much about them. They'll be happy soon. Excuse me. And we need to have a look at this narcotics issue. So if we do this needle exchange program, it doesn't cost a lot, and not a lot of political capital. Will improve health and liberal. Doesn't reduce the narcotics issue in itself, but the improvement to health should counteract this problem with the drug addiction. And the improvement to health will maybe no, but you know what? Health's a bit of a problem. I think we need to get involved in that. And, you know, we don't have to fight for re-election. Oh, that's even worse. Okay, a major employer in our nation has just shut down one of its car factories, making 1,000 people redundant. And there you go, so this is something that we've directly caused, or that I've directly caused. So a drop in car usage by our citizens, as well as poor labour productivity, has been cited as the major causes of the shutdown, which reflects badly on us. So we did two things. We dropped the car usage by implementing a few policies to make it a little bit more focused on working from home, that sort of thing. And we also improved the trade union condition, which does mean that, you know, does mean poorer labour productivity. So because of that, the car company shut the plant. We still have a big surplus though, which is good. The poor, the socialists happy, the capitalists aren't the happiest in the world, but we're getting there. Unemployment's quite high at the moment. There is not a lot we can really do in this regard. The National Business Council could help a little bit, but... Oh, I completely forgot about the alcohol tax. That's something I could have done. Probably something I should have done. Free school meals will help to reduce poverty. Definitely. And will help parents out a little bit. That'll massively reduce poverty, actually. Okay, we'll go for that. We've still got 18 to go. Pollution's still not great. Massive cause being the environment. Car usage is on the way back up. Not really sure why. Let's actually get some investment in... Ooh. $16 quarters though. You know what? I'm happy doing it. It'll just take a while. And I'm also thinking... Oh, it's a big thing to put in though, isn't it? Okay. Right, what I wanted to do next was the bus lanes. But maybe not. I might even do bus subsidies. Homelessness is now at an end. Fantastic. That took quite a while. We are in a budget deficit now though. Income has dropped. Okay, not the best to go back into a deficit, but we are. Oh, the unemployment's gone up though. The global economy seriously needs to sort itself out. We're gonna have to cut funding somewhere, aren't we? What's our big expenditures? State schools. Kind of want to keep that around. State pensions is something I could lower. Let's get that down to about 120. Costs a lot of political capital, so pretty much puts us out until next term, but... Retireds are quite happy with us. Oh god, that meltdown really did come at the worst possible time, didn't it? Okay, so pollution is still quite a high level. Trying to reduce that blimmin' car usage. The national monorail system will reduce it, but it will take a very long time. Bus usage. Okay, so I want to put some subsidies into buses. It's very expensive though. A carpooling campaign would work. It would definitely take car usage down. You know, if 3 people are travelling together, that reduces it by a third. And fantastic. Global demand overseas production falls. A massive spike in food. Oh, we've gone back up to a surplus though. A massive one. The Freedom League is a bit unhappy. That's Liberals. They're getting happy with me though. Right, obesity's developed. Has already started to go down thanks to the health. The doctor's strike is still ongoing. Let's crack a healthy eating campaign out. Improves health, reduces obesity. Is there anything mad I want to go for? Got a lot of political capital. A carbon tax would be fantastic, but you need a lot of political capital for that. A lot. You know what? Let's do it. Bus subsidies. Let's put 25 billion into bus subsidies. Massively boost bus usage, and then in turn will reduce car usage. Narcotics, I feel, is going to be a problem for the rest of my goddamn life. Even with poverty being as low as it is, it's still causing an issue. You know what, let's get this business council sorted. Boost GDP. Helps capitalists be a bit nicer. Positive discrimination. How are the ethnic minorities for me at the moment? They were a bit annoyed with me at one point. I feel like because of the economy issue, I'm going to reject that law. Not really an issue or economy at this point, but we're going to try and boost it as high as we can. Rail subsidies? Yeah, you know what? Let's start investing in the rail service, why don't we? It's not going to make motorists very happy, but... yeah, I'm not going to lie, guys, there's not going to be many of you at this rate, is there really? 28% of the population, they're slightly happy. It's not like we're doing anything to really annoy them. Like, we got a clean fuel subsidy. Fuel efficiency standards would boost car usage. Like, it would, but it would also help with environmental standards. Yeah, it's a tough one, that one. Clean energy, consumer rights. Clean energy could be a good one. It's going to improve our energy efficiency. The capitalists aren't going to be the most happy in the world, but CO2 is going to go down. The environment's going to get a lot better. I've unlocked an achievement. The one-party state. You have all but banished the thought of any other political parties from the minds of the electorate, reducing other politicians to mere has-beens. Software patents. Reject. Don't really know. Health's gone up, unemployment's gone down, GDP's gone up. Is this doctor strike nearly over? Right, it should be over next turn. Next turn the doctor strike should be gone. The narcotics addiction is getting there. The obesity problem's still not great. Food standards can be boosted a little bit to reduce obesity. It's going to make farmers a little unhappier, but... internet crime is a really frustrating one. I don't think it's causing that much of an issue for us at this point. The biggest issues are in public services, and despite how much I am trying to boost the environment, nothing seems to be good. It's because of the GDP thing, really. Let's invest in bus lanes. You know what, let's do some recycling. We haven't done any recycling yet. Let's just do the universal doorstep collection of recycling. Liberals and capitalists. Well, the doctor strikes at an end. A hurricane's hit us, causing major destruction. What can I do? Every time, like, something gets better, we just seem to get worse. Asthma epidemics got even worse somehow. GDP's dropped. How's the environment suddenly dropped? A smart meter program should help the environment. Improves energy efficiency, doesn't cost that much. What with the huge surplus we've got, we might as well. Microgeneration grants? Yeah, that's the one. Helps people to build the solar panels on their roofs, that sort of thing. You know what, it's not a popular decision, but the obesity epidemic is a problem. I'm surprised it's not already an issue on this. We've apparently eradicated poverty. And everyone feels even to each other. And our credit rating is now AAA. Environmentals and liberals. God damn. Like, I get what you're saying, the liberals aren't mega happy, but have you seen what I've done for environmental factors? Like, liberals aren't exactly mega unhappy either. I mean, what's going on here? I'm going to reduce criminal tagging. Or just... you know what? Crime's really low at the moment. I feel like we could probably eradicate that and still have quite a good go of it. Unemployment's gone back up again because obviously the GDP's become an issue. Oh, it is madness. It'll improve car usage, but it will make it better on the environment, so... And it makes motorists happier, which we need to start doing. Health food subsidies. Relatively popular with voters, makes us healthier. The poor earnings are happier because they now get to, well, eat healthy food rather than having to chomp on whatever's cheap, which is usually a McDonald's. No, we won't do that. Housing isn't that big of a problem for us at the moment. I'm pretty sure one of the ways to make drug addiction less of a problem is to simply legalise it and then to tax it. But I'm not sure if I want to go down that route. Right, okay, so it may potentially increase it, but I do have a theory about this. I don't think I'll be able to tax it right now though, will I? That's the problem. No. So that'll come in the next quarter. We will tax recreational drugs. There is a refugee crisis which increased immigration and made the Patriots Conservatives very unhappy. It's helped GDP though. Right, so let's get this recreational drugs tax going. Maybe it doesn't then. That's kind of frustrating. I thought it might do. Oh well. Narcotics is forever going to be an issue, I think. I mean, we could cancel the legal drugs tax, but I'm not going to bother. It's not becoming that much of an issue that it's massively, massively causing problems. It's off parents a bit, and it is a health issue. But health is quite high at the moment. Just got to get rid of this blooming obesity, which should be done next term. Asthma epidemic still isn't on the way down, despite the fact that the environment should have been boosted at this point, but it still hasn't. I think it's just because GDP is so high. There's only so much you can do with a high GDP. Car emissions limits. Trying everything to try and get that environment up, but it's just not working. Liberals and capitalists, fantastic. Deport him. Only because we have such a problem at the moment with a couple of those things. Let's just get bus usage up. And let's do some subsidies for some bicycles, which will take car usage down, improve people's health. Just trying to do everything I possibly can. The obese situation's at an end. Allow same-sex marriage. Environmentals and liberals. Eh? Right, liberals, I can't understand that. Liberals seem relatively happy. They're slightly unhappy, but not to the point where a minister would quit. And the environmentalists love us. Despite the fact that we still can't seem to get rid of this pollution problem. But we're getting there. Let's put a cycling campaign in. Again, we're just trying to reduce car usage as much as possible. Now, their membership is affected by car usage. So, the less of them there is, the better. Because I'm not really making them very happy at the moment. We can maybe improve biofuel subsidies, which would help the environment, that sort of thing. We'll do that, but can't help you that much. I'm also going to go for the eco-home regulations. Reduce CO2 emissions, that sort of thing. Bird flu. Brilliant. So the State Health Service cost has nearly doubled. Everyone's unhappy, the health is much worse, productivity is much worse, and tourism is gone. We still have a very good surplus though, which is impressive considering. We can actually get ourselves into some reserves here. The debt has been doing very well. Slowly but surely has been dropping. Debt's GDP ratio is only 17% right now, which is quite good. Oh, organic farming. I don't know the capitalists again, but I am going to drop the income tax. I feel like we've got enough of a surplus where the income tax isn't so much of a problem for us. Right, why has that happened all of a sudden? Come on. What happened to productivity? Because of the bird flu outbreak. Oh my god. There's just nothing I can do about that. The Minister for Industry has resigned. No longer happy to serve in your government. Right, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna go for you. Oh, I can't believe that. At least we're... see, now we're in a deficit. Great. The debt was looking so good for a while, wasn't it? Okay. I mean, the State Health Service is going to have a massive problem cost-wise just because of the issue that we're having at the moment. But I can't reduce that. The capitalists at the moment are always unhappy with me. Should we improve technology grants? That'll make them happier. More money, but... oh well. Ah, there's pollution controls. I knew we had something somewhere. We'll do restrictions and fines. Okay, I'm hoping there's a domino effect here, but I'm going to reduce corporation tax in order to boost the economy a little bit, considering it's in the dumps right now. Oh, the second election already came up. Oh, so we won't even get to see the fallout from bird flu, but I was rinsing through that. That was only half the time in the last video, so we'll have a look at the election result, but I can see this only going one way. Let's have a look. Wow. Opposition turnout was only 42%, but even with that, I don't think they were ever going to win. But since the last time, health has massively improved, which is one of the things we said we wanted to do. We wanted to improve health. It looks like pollution might have come to an end near the near the end of the game there. I wish I could have had a look at that. That's a shame. Education rose steadily. Crime obviously had dropped massively and continued to drop. Violent crime went down, poverty went down, we managed to get that to nearly nothing, which was nice. Quality went up. The environment went up a lot towards the end. Looks like the pollution controls really did it. So yeah, next time we need to take a look at that. The asthma epidemic was also just about to end. There we go. So that'd have been the only time I think I would have ever got the asthma epidemic to end. Car usage dropped massively towards the end with subsidies in rail, bus, and also some cycling. So that we did get the environment going up a lot in the end, which is great. Productivity dropped, but that's because of the bird flu epidemic. We were already starting to boost back up again. A third term in office probably would have had us reach a surplus in total when it comes to the debt, so it would have been nice, but it wasn't to be. Bus usage shot up massively, which did a lot for car usage, which is good. Unemployment was very low. It did rise a little bit, but that might have been just the bird flu epidemic and a couple of other issues we had. CO2 emissions basically dropped down to near nothing. Air travel did actually rise, but it was on its way down again. GDP was causing it to rise quite a lot, but we did manage to get it down. Immigration was very high, partly because of the refugee crisis, I think partly because GDP was just relatively high, so a lot of people were coming to the country. It did have a bit of an effect on wages, which was causing a few issues, but it wasn't too bad in the end. Energy efficiency rocketed up thanks to all my subsidies, grants, and the smart meter program, which helped GDP, reduce CO2 emissions, and reduce oil demand. Racial tension did increase. That would be due to the immigration towards the end. So oil demand went down massively. Oil supply went down a little bit. Oil price went down in total, which was good. But, demand was very, very low, so I don't think we ever really had that much of a worry when it came to oil. We weren't so reliant on the oil price for our economy. So the poor earnings had much better. Oh, look at that, that's fantastic. The poor earnings went up a lot, middle earnings went up a little bit, and the higher earnings went up a little bit. Would have liked to have got them up a little bit better maybe, but considering how low the poor earnings were at one point, it's nice to get them up a little bit. GDP did go up, despite the best efforts of the world economy and bird flu and hurricanes and everything else beyond my control. The GDP did rise, and I think, obviously, like I said, in another term, our GDP would have been a lot higher, and we probably would have got that surplus in the end. Private healthcare dropped down to near nothing, which is interesting. Obviously, it's not a good or a bad thing, the amount of private things that are going on, but that was because we massively improved the funding in the state health service. So that's good. Private housing went down a little bit. People were applying on public housing. Private schools went down quite a lot. We had a big investment in schools. Private pensions went up because I did reduce the state pensions. So because of that reduction in state pensions, you can't actually see it. You can actually apply changes here, which is a bit funny. Oh, there you go, cost history. So I did reduce it, which then, led to more people deciding to go private, which is fair enough. Tobacco usage did go down a little bit. We banned tobacco adverts at one point. I didn't actually touch it for the rest of the game. We never really had much of a problem with tobacco usage. Although with the GDP rising again, we might have done in the future. Therefore, tobacco tax might have had to be improved. Maybe an outright ban if that's possible. I'm not sure if it is. Alcohol consumption went down 40%. Which... oh my god, it took so long to get that down. to enough to the point. Traffic congestion went down a lot because of a lot less motorists. Their membership was very low towards the end of the game. Tourism went down due to bird flu, but it would have been on the up. Wages went up a little bit. Would have liked to get that up a bit more. But legal drug consumption went up a little bit, obviously, but the tax meant that it never went that high. And the currency ended up relatively strong, despite, you know, the issues that we had with the bird flu. So, all in all, I think that was a pretty positive little, run through. And if there's any more enjoyment out of this, then if there's a good amount of enjoyment out of this, then I'll probably post more. I thought I'd just have a little run through it. A friend of mine started getting into it again recently, so I thought, you know what, I'll have another go for it. Landslide, and that was it. So, I recommend this game to anyone. It's a great game. I only have a couple of the DLCs. I have Social Engineering and Extremism. I don't have the other two. I'd be tempted to go for Electioneering and Clones and Drones, really. Maybe grab them on sale, but you don't need them. The game is very fleshed out, and it's very enjoyable, and it's interesting to see lots of different ones that you could have a go at. There's lots of different ones just for the normal game. There's the UK, France, Germany, USA, Canada and Australia, and mods do have different countries as well with their own different unique challenges. So great game, I'd recommend it to anyone. And that's it, that's time for this one. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a like, maybe a comment, and if you want to see more, do subscribe. I'll try and post every weekday unless I'm dead busy on that day or something. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.